All right, there was no countdown. So um I am Xanatos 1138 and with me is Chris Goddamn Magnus or Cass as we like to call him, and we are trying to start up doing a wrestling podcast. We're with It's Fanbox, and we have multiple things going on. One that I'm part of the weekly, not weekly, Doctor Who watch along we've been doing, and we're currently on David Tennant's run, his second season. Yes. But yeah, with that, we are just going to talk about all things wrestling. We don't really have a specific agenda. I have thoughts on this past Dynamite. Oh, and we even started this idea because we are on lives every Wednesday and Saturday with the likes of Chrissy Tina on TikTok, and she has something going on at runtheropes.shop. If you are like us and you say fuck ice, there is a perfect t-shirt with Eddie Guerrero on it, and you should get it because it's going to be a limited time, and the proceeds will go to people affected by ice. And with that, Cass, take it away.
All right. Hello, and everybody. Like Dave said, I'm going to do my own little intro for a second. I am everyone's favorite indie darn, the Lone Star Casanova, Mr. Must See TV, Chris Goddamn Magnus. And me and my buddy Dave here are going to be talking about all things wrestling. We have a lot of great topics for you today, starting with, but not limited to, predictions for the men and women's Elimination Chamber in Chicago. The title changes that happened on this past Dynamite in crap. I forgot where they were at. Where they were in. Where were they at this week, Dave? For Dynamite.
Wow, I had it, and I lost it. It
Either
wasn't
way, there
it
was a
wasn't
lot of
Texas.
stuff
That was
happening. There was a lot of stuff happening in this Dynamite. Also, the not the G1, the New Japan Cup bracket has released, and there's a lot of interesting matchups, and the participants themselves. Um, there's a lot of twists and turns that could be coming up in this New Japan Cup coming up. So first and foremost, I want to ask Dave, how did you get into wrestling? That's how I want to start this
how did
first episode.
I? Ooh, okay. How did I get into wrestling? So there's a couple of things. I when I was a kid, I had this friend that was watching wrestling, so I kind of like knew about it a little bit. I saw Macho Man Randy Savage feud with Doink the Clown. Uh, but I wasn't like into it until I was in middle school, and one of my best friends and I got into it, and the Attitude Era, Stone Cold Steve Austin, just Stone Cold is like he's nothing like what I usually like in a person or like, the aesthetic, but just his demeanor and the Stone Cold Stunner, all of the presentation is like what made him my favorite wrestler back in the day. And
Absolutely.
the old school D Generation X, not the like bald geriatric Shawn Michaels and Triple H that we have today, but like the 9 members of DX, like the New Age Outlaws. I have always wanted to do a variation of Road Dogs tag team intro, and I can never work it in where it doesn't sound lame as fuck.
That's absolutely fair. I don't have that problem, unfortunately. I will just at work or just in my day to day life be quoting wrestling promos or little catchphrases, and people will look at me like I'm an insane person. But that's the burden of being a super fan.
The beauty of wrestling too is like I the Steiner Math promo. I watched that shit live, and it just I happened to be watching TNA at the time. I wasn't even watching it on a regular basis, and I happened to stumble upon one of the best, most iconic promos in wrestling.
I find it so funny because for the audience that doesn't know, Dave and I there's a pretty large age gap between us. I'm 25. Dave is
40.
600.
40.
Sorry, 40. But the outliers of wrestling that stand out through generations, like he was saying, DX. Shawn Michaels is my favorite wrestler of all time. And the Steiner Math promo, if you gave me like a couple of shots in 5 minutes, I guarantee you I could recite it back to you word for word, bar for bar. So it's super cool to know that there are moments in wrestling for every kind of fan, whether it new, old. Because I only got into wrestling, as you know, Dave, WrestleMania 40. The why am I supposed to care about Cody Rhodes? That whole shebang, and learning about all that, I was like, you know what? I get why people like this sport. I get why people have fallen in love with these characters, these larger than life personalities who just like pull you in. This is a perfect segue talking about Cody Rhodes because he has a qualifying match tonight for the men's elimination chamber that is going to be taking place February 28th in Chicago with Jacob Fatu and Sami Zayn. Now, Dave, I know that you don't watch WWE week to week anymore. I do because not because I want to, it's because I kind of have to.
I catch it in highlights because I do follow a lot of streamers that post clips nonstop.
Right.
But I just ever since SummerSlam, I feel like I have hated Brock Lesnar before it was cool. Uh, like this is another like random story, but I used to watch wrestling and other stuff at a buddy's apartment in like 2010, 2009, 2010. And I happened to see Brock in an interview for UFC
Oh,
bragging. He was just bragging about being a bully. And me, I have been bullied throughout my entire school career. I was bullied to some capacity, like my entire tenure of school, other than like the last couple of years of high school. So when someone's proud to be a bully, yeah, I don't fucking like you. Um, so that kind of just like put me off, and I've just hated him ever since. Uh, I was there live for when he beat the Undertaker's streak.
oof.
I have never heard silence before. Like 70,000 people all shut up at the same time when the 3 count happened. The silence was loud, and then a bunch of chants of bullshit happened after everyone was like not stunned anymore. But this last SummerSlam, after all of the shit he's named 44 times in a lawsuit with Vince McMahon, I mean, the only people that cleared him was WWE legal. It's basically them patting themselves on the back. Like, yeah, he's fine. We're good. We looked into our own scandals, and he's fine. Um, just seeing, and what kills me is that SummerSlam was phenomenal. It was a fucking great SummerSlam. And then the very end of it, they have to ruin it by showing Brock Lesnar. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. I'm going to take a long ass break until something drastically changes in WWE. And I've only since then, like certain things, like I had to watch certain parts of John Cena's retirement tour.
Right.
I had to watch AJ Styles' last match. Like that's the only match on the card that I watched. And like just certain pivotal moments where I know I'm not going to see them wrestle again, I was like, all right, I'm going to tune in for that. And I absolutely love AJ Styles. I really hope he doesn't go the way of the Undertaker, and he, keeps his political opinions to himself after the fact. Although I'm not, you should not like the whole keep politics out of wrestling shit. Don't do that. It's fine. I'm just selfishly hoping that because I don't want to hate AJ Styles, and I will because I have a feeling I know which direction he would go.
Oh
The
yeah,
gay
you mean
community,
flat earther Alan Jones?
yeah,
You think that maybe he might not be the best stand up guy behind closed doors?
yeah, and I for anything out of context, I just quoted something where he was like a radio show or something, and someone said, "How do you feel about being like a pillar of the gay community?" He interrupts, "The gay community."
That is probably one of my favorite AJ Styles clips on the planet, and not because I'm like, oh, boo, gay people. You could look at me and Dave and know, they some of them. Yeah, absolutely. We're some allies. We support all marginalized communities here. That's why we are at the beginning of the program. Uh, advertise a fuck I shirt on runtheropes.shop because I will always shill for my friends any time of the day. But back to the topic at hand, the Elimination Chamber qualifying matches. I know that you haven't seen the lineups so far. I think the only one that's happened so far from the men's was Randy Solo and Aleister Black. Um,
Didn't LA Knight win something? Like he won something to get further ahead? I
he
forget.
won his. He won his. Yeah, that was the other one on Raw on Monday. It was Penta, Bronson Reed, and LA Knight. And LA Knight won because the hooded guy who may or may not be Jake Paul at this point or Adam Pierce, who knows?
See, he's too thin to be Jake Paul. Jake Paul's a stocky guy.
Yeah, and I don't know why I keep seeing that on the internet. It's just like I also don't know why they keep doing hooded masked wrestler things. We just did this with Austin Theory, and then a couple of weeks prior with I forgot who it was already because it never means anything. It never goes anywhere because what is Austin Theory doing now? Nothing. The same thing he was doing before he got hurt when he was tagging with Grayson Waller.
He's just a part of a group.
Just a part of a group. I genuinely don't know where this elimination chamber is going to lead because you got, as of right now, Randy, LA Knight. If I'm gonna put dollars to donuts, Cody's probably winning his. Because do you think Cody Rhodes is taking a pin? Probably not. So I'm just not excited for this chamber. The only thing that I'm excited for is Punk and Balor 2. And only because I have small hopes because I am for some reason, even though I wasn't watching wrestling back then, so stuck in 2016 Bullet Club. And it was like, oh man, I hope they bring the demon back. Wouldn't that be cool? And he does the nah.
See, NXT Finn Balor, like the first run, not his second run. NXT Finn Balor when he debuted, and every pay per view entrance he had the demon, like that was a specialty entrance.
The takeovers.
I despise when WWE does this where they basically take a gimmick and go, he's powered up. He's the demon for this. And then like the other guy beats him anyway. It's like, oh, he overcame the demon. It's the same thing they did with Kane, where Kane had like 4 different personalities instead of just being Kane.
Yeah. They do that a lot. I don't understand because they have their own tapes. They know what works and know what doesn't. And I know all of them are on the internet. I know they are. And they know what we hate and what we enjoy. So it's just so annoying to just because I am watching Raw and SmackDown week to week for some ungodly reason. It's just like I'm stuck in a cycle and I'm just not enjoying anything. I'm half watching it. The people that I do enjoy aren't on TV right now because the Motor City Machine Guns are doing the gimmick that they had in TNA, where they're like, oh my God, we're not on TV. But like, not really. They're just not being booked. Seth Rollins is hurt again. Kevin Owens is still hurt. Sami Zayn is doing fuck all because for some reason, they still want me to believe that main eventer of WrestleMania, Sami Zayn, one of the only people to kick out of the 1D, Sami Zayn, unified tag team champion, Sami Zayn, world renowned wrestler outside of this garbage company at this moment, Sami Zayn. You want me to believe that he's still an underdog? I watched him put belt to ass to prime Shinsuke Nakamura. Like, what are we talking about? What are we doing? And that could be said about so many like indie darlings that got signed to NXT and then put on the main roster. Like, what do they do? What are they doing with Shinsuke? What have they done with
Oh,
Shinsuke for the past
Prime
10 years?
Black and Gold NXT, Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens is an outlier because he's done pretty well for himself. Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode is now a backstage guy, and his entrance was elite.
I So for again, this me and Dave have been friends for quite a while. So there's a lot of things that I'm going to talk about or he'll talk about that we've already discussed, but I want to retell for the audience because I remember when I had first heard the Bobby Roode entrance, and you were like, "Oh man, go watch Beer Money, Motor City Machine Guns Best Two Out of Three Falls match, and you will understand tag team wrestling." I watched it. I understood it. What Dave did was correct. All the hype was real. Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Bobby Roode, and James Storm, they can go. When I saw Bobby Roode was in NXT in YouTube clips, I said, "Oh, I know he's going to be moving different." Got to the main roster, did nothing with him. I don't understand. You get these guys because of who they are and what they do over there, and then you get them here, and it seems like, oh no, we just got them over here so we could make sure that they weren't doing cool shit over there.
I
We
don't
still
think
have
it,
our top guys,
I
but
don't think it was me that
y'all won't be.
suggested that match,
No,
but I
who
do
was it?
fuck.
It might have been my dad. It might have been
I
my dad then.
I do fuck with Beer Money though. That was a great tag team. Um, what else? Like, oh, you reminded me, TNA people, when I actually tried to watch TNA like weekly way back when, Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson was incredible, but he was Mr. Kennedy in WWE. They did nothing, and then he had this whole drop down mic gimmick. It was incredible. It was great.
We could make an entire episode, and I'm sure we will, of just like what abouts like wrestlers from what any company. Because like even right now, um, I am very patiently waiting to see what AEW does with Kevin Knight. Because I don't want him to end up like a Sami Zayn, like a Finn Balor. Like I know he was, I don't know how big he was in New Japan. Because again, was not watching New Japan at that point, was not watching wrestling at that point. But every match I see him have here in AEW, he's going crazy. I don't. There's not even like a wrestler that I can compare him to, and I think that's like to his benefit. That there's nothing that I can like. Oh, he reminds me of a, and I'm sure someone will be like, well, actually, he's kind of like this and that, and Styles like, shut up. I think it's good that I can't pin him down to a specific wrestler because he's him. Shout out to Carmelo Hayes when I'm not talking about him either.
See, what I like about AEW that I think a lot of people don't like is the roster is huge to the point where I am constantly week to week going, "Who the hell is that? Who the hell is that?" And then I watch a match like they're fucking awesome.
I think that might be on purpose because I remember back during Hangman's second run when Lee Moriarty got put on. I think it was AEW debut, or at least to my knowledge, it was my first time seeing him on the main roster. Main roster.
Mhm.
Um, and I was like, oh shit, Lee Moriarty's getting a title shot. Cool. Hangman's gonna win. It's probably gonna be like a 5 minute, squash match because I'm so conditioned from like WWE programming and sometimes AEW because they'll do a squash match for a champion just to like do some enhancement segment. No, they had like three commercial breaks between the match. It went the distance. It almost looked like Lee Moriarty was gonna take it home, but
That
obviously Hangman won.
that was me with Bandito versus MJF. Did not expect the quality match we got. That was a pay per view level match.
So I'm so glad you brought up MJF because in preparation for this episode, I watched the new insight interview with MJF, and he was talking about how this first title reign he wanted to prove that he was the best on the mic, just live up to the expectations that he set up for himself and that the people doubted him for. But this title reign, he wants to prove that he is the best in that ring. And I think that we're kind of seeing that because I don't know if you've noticed, every match that he's had since he's been back, he's won almost clean.
Yeah.
Like no shenanigans, no like belt. Like there may be a low blow, but like he's not doing the max thing. He's wrestling these matches. Like
I'm so glad that Dynamite Diamond Ring is gone. because that was a lot of what I had a problem with in his like first title run, or like when he had it. Every single finish was him punching someone with that ring.
I don't think he's used it.
I don't even know if he has it anymore.
He
I
still
don't.
has it. It's still in his intro. That was even a part of the storyline with Bandito because he was like, "You want it, and you got a title shot, but I've won 6 of these, and all I got was a bag, and the ring."
Yeah,
So no, he still has all 6 Dynamite Diamond rings and still wears it to his entrance every time. He even has like the ref, take it off still, like the whole shebang.
it's crazy that nobody else in the company's ever won that.
It's It's because a lot of people don't realize because like they have their favorites, like myself included. Like I'm a Will Ospreay guy, but Max is the main character of AEW. He may not be like the good guy or like the baby face superhero or whatever, but he is the main character. Like every time he's gone, ratings go down. Every time he's back, every return Max has had has been one of the most, if not the most profitable thing of that year for that company. When he came back in Madison Square Garden in the Triple H fit, when he had his pipe bomb promo where he was calling Tony Khan a fucking mark and telling him to fire him.
Have you ever seen Max like the beginning of AEW when he was in Cody's entourage?
Yes,
I
yes.
something like I had never seen Max before, and I'm watching it going, something's off about that guy. There's something like not quite right. And then he gave Cody a low blow. I was like, there it is.
I That was one of the first things that I did when I got into AEW was watch the Punk and the Punk and Max feud because I heard everyone talk about like that was the greatest feud of that year and like the decade and blah blah blah. It's just 2 generational juggernauts on the mic and in the ring, and I was like, all right, either one, y'all are blazing like crazy, or these two are really like that. Because I know who CM Punk is. I know like at that time he was one of those wrestlers that like went outside the zeitgeist and reached me in my bubble. I was like, yeah, CM Punk, Stone Cold, The Rock, John Cena, Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton. Those are names that I knew. And I was like, I thought he was a WWE guy. And then I thought he quit and he was in the UFC and was just getting beat up there. No, apparently he went back to wrestling, went to AEW, had a feud with Max, watched this whole like 2 hour long YouTube video essay, and it had like the matches in there too. That dog collar match might be one of the greatest hardcore matches that I've ever seen, and at least in modern age.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've seen that, but all the matches and are of that are on HBO Max now. Dude, that Punk and Max feud is legit. Probably what put that company on the map for a while.
I'm not. I'm sure I've seen it because I think every AEW pay per view, or at least a good portion of them, I have gotten. Like I have not skipped one because they're always so good.
Yeah, I'll sit here and be the first person to say it, and now I have a platform to do so. AEW right now, pound for pound, dollars for cent, has the best pay per views in the game right now.
I will even say the worst one that comes to mind is that Death Ring finish where like Eddie Kingston's covering Mox because the ring's going to explode, and then sparklers, and Eddie, being the professional that Eddie is, Eddie still sold that he passed out.
Huh. That
You
must
ever
have
seen
been
that?
during that dark period. No, I haven't.
It was really funny because it was like an exploding. I forget what they called it, like an exploding ring match, and um, Mox was in the middle of the ring. The timer was going down. The ring was going to explode, and Eddie's running out there, covers Moxley because they were having this angle where like they're best friends, like they go way back.
Right.
Covers him, and it goes just sparkles around the ring, and Eddie just passes out, and it was panned on the internet the next day. I was like, man, fuck it, this stuff happens. I mean, kudos to Eddie for still following through on it.
Yeah. You know, I believe that happened because I've seen clips of like bad AEW back when they had the mimosa matches,
Yes.
or just like just dumb decisions that they would do, like having like barbed wire exploding ring matches every other week, and then like Kenny getting like paradigm shift through a glass table. This decisions that, like, granted, I know AEW's for the sickos, but just like you clearly see they don't do that shit now.
Unless your name is Darby Allen, who goes back
Right.
first in everything.
Right. I don't talk about Darby Allen because he is an outlier when it comes to wrestling. Him and Will, they don't care about their bodies, and Will's bullshit finally caught up to him. And I'm hoping that when he comes back, hopefully this Saturday at AEW Grand Slam Australia, 8/7 Eastern Central Time. Um, but hey, Darby Allen climbed Mount Everest, being like 102 pounds soaking wet. I think he'll be fine. Honestly, I'll say this. This is the only time I'm going to bring this up. All the pain that Darby Allen inflicts on himself is karma for the shit he did in his past. And that's all I'll say about that.
Oh man. And, I mean, it's kind of a low bar, but it's like you don't see that often in AEW. You see it all the time in WWE. It's like, wow, that guy's a shitty person.
Yeah, I remember when I got into AEW, I was like, oh man, finally a company not run by weirdos. And then I started learning more about these wrestlers. I was like, God damn it. I can't like anything ethically, huh? I just have to always have like, hey guys, I love this company, but I am aware of all the shady, weird shit that they do. Please don't think that I'm a bad person. I swear I understand the ramifications of what I'm doing. That's why they don't get my money.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying to get to my first AEW pay per view in May.
Oof, the double or nothing.
Yep. And
That's gonna be a banger.
I've been to so many WrestleManias live that, like, especially, like, I'm glad, like, I stopped at just the right time because then they moved to 2 days. And, like, I actually was going to go to the one in Tampa right before COVID hit. And then COVID hit and it was canceled and put indoors. And they kind of comped the tickets so I could actually just move it to next year and go to the following year, because I think they went in Tampa again just to make everything even. But I opted to just get a refund because I'm like, I'm kind of it was a very crazy time for COVID.
Yeah, it's like I'm on the fence about it, about like going to a WrestleMania, because it's like, damn, I'm in the timeline of wrestling where it's like I would have to donate a kidney, an eye, and like a limb to buy a good seat for WrestleMania. But at the same time, the three that I've watched so far have made me scream, cry, laugh uncontrollably with maniacal intent, and then just with the announcement of this WrestleMania 42, just constantly ask the question, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I would love for them to have a double or nothing or an all in at in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
so I can go to one of those.
That's been done. I think
Because
All in Texas was a thing.
right, but that
Yeah.
was in like Arlington, which I don't know if y'all know this, but Texas, it takes you at least 4 hours to get anywhere
Mm-hmm.
of importance. So I was not making that 4.5 hour drive to Arlington, Texas, to then like not get home until like 2 o'clock in the morning the next day.
And, I mean, on the subject of live wrestling, there is nothing like it. It is an experience. Like, even going to a house show, especially when I get to go to a house show and I'm on the floor, like at the ramp, and seeing all the wrestlers up close. I'm like, wow, you're so much taller than I thought you were. Like, I saw Ludwig Kaiser at the last one I went to a couple years ago. I was
Oh,
like, dude,
nice.
that guy, I am 6'4". This guy was easily an inch taller than me. I was like, holy shit, dude, I thought you were a little guy.
Man, I wonder whatever happened to Ludwig Kaiser. He just kind of, you know, Imperium broke up. They fired Vinci, and I haven't seen Kaiser just at all.
Yeah.
Just gone. That's a joke because he's Grande Americano, the worst gimmick of all time. God, I hate that so much, and I hate going over to my mom and godparents' house because my godmother, who is a proud Latino woman, and my mother, who is a proud Cuban woman, um, see him every time and cuss him out instinctively, just like, oh, he pinche, he's not a real lucha. He's just a white man in a mask. I'm like, yeah, I hate it too, but I've given up on them. Like actually, like because first it was Chad Gable, and then he got hurt, and now it's Kaiser, and all of the Mexico crowds and AAA, they love Americano, and that breaks my heart too because it's like, guys, we have lucha. We have luchadors. But oh, I'm sorry. The best lucha that y'all have on the roster at AAA, El Hijo del Vikingo, y'all booed him out the building every chance y'all got, even though he's out wrestling that domestic abuser. I forgot his name. I took his name out my brain lexicon. Alberto Del Patron. I hate that guy.
He's one of so there's a short list of people that like I didn't necessarily meet him, but WrestleMania 30, me and my friend were just standing on the street, and he rounded the corner with his kids. Well, holy shit, that's Alberto Del Rio. Goes, what's up, boys? And he kept going with his kids. I'm like, ah, that was awesome. And then I find out later, oh man, he's a really shitty person. Never mind.
Yeah.
Same thing with Ryback. I met him on the same trip.
WrestleMania 30, that's the one that Brian won both belts, right?
Yep, and that's the one where the Undertaker lost his streak.
That happened in the same night.
Yeah, they did that first, and then Brian won the belt to send everyone home happy.
That's crazy. I actually don't know how long Brian held both of those belts.
I was actually at the Raw the next night too, and he was doing like the yes chants. He's just joking about how heavy they were and going like, "Yeah, my arms are tired. We're doing yes with both belts."
Because didn't Cena have those specific titles too?
Yeah, I think there was a really funny moment too where like this didn't. I don't know if this was the last time he was holding both belts, but Ric Flair was out there just on the ramp when Cena was coming out to his entrance. He gave Rick the WCW belt to keep it and ran away.
All right.
But before I forget, when I was talking about live wrestling, I forgot to say this the other night too, because we were talking about live wrestling when we were all watching Dynamite. Even if you go to a convention, like I went to Fan Expo Philly last year, there was just local talent in the convention center with a ring. Wheeler Yuta was in the back signing autographs, and like these people I'd never seen before. Actually, my friend knew one of the wrestlers. He's like a up and coming. So we're watching. Like the matches were really entertaining, and to the point where they actually started fighting on the outside, and Wheeler Yuta got involved in one of them. He like held one of them or hit a guy. I don't quite remember, but it was a whole experience.
Man. Pre evil hair Wheeler Yuta. What a time to be alive.
He might have had the hair at the time too. He's had that hair for a while.
Yeah, he has. Because you were talking about the worst pay per views for AEW, and my brain instinctively went to Revolution 2 years ago, where the main event was Mox and Edge, and Christian came out to execute his contract, but then got diffed by Mox immediately.
So I understand. I understand that Moxley's gimmick has mostly been like white supremacist coded because his like it felt that way a lot of times. It felt very much like he was just a proud boy. And but like Moxley as a wrestler, I have never disliked Moxley as a wrestler.
Phenomenal wrestler. Cannot take that away from him. In that ring, he is one of the best. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, like
However,
when he debuted after leaving WWE and like attacked Kenny Omega, it was a huge pop, incredible.
that's when he still had Wild Thing as a theme, right?
He actually didn't have that yet. I think it was like
Oh,
it's like what they do with a lot of WWE wrestlers, where they just do a version of their WWE theme. It was kind of like that, and then he switched to Wild Thing sometime later. I don't know. I don't know how long it took.
yeah. I said this when it happened because I knew the Continental Classic was going to try to make John Moxley a face. I said it with my full chest. I don't care how good a promo he cuts because I want to say this first. John Moxley on the mic, extremely underrated. Extremely underrated. Cuts a phenomenal promo. I was like, I don't care what he says, how good the match is, how clean he wins the match. I'm not cheering for Mox if he wins this Continental Classic. Fucking paradigm shift, Death Rider, 1, 2, 3. I had to hold it in because one, I was gonna scream regardless because do you know how bad I hate Kazuchika Okada? You know how bad I hate that man. Oh, I hate Okada. With a fervor of rage and hatred. I hate Kazuchika Okada. So I was like, man, fuck it. Moxley, take the dub. But I had to take it in solace. I had to celebrate in solace because Okada Hardy screwed over Kyle Fletcher, which, ooh, that blew. That hurt. He screwed over Takeshita uh, by screwing over Kyle Fletcher. And so I was like, wow, my two front runners who I wanted to win this tournament got fucked over by the same guy. And one of them just rolled over and forgave him.
Yeah, it took me a while. Like Okada had to grow on me, like because it was in the beginning, his shtick was like wet cardboard to me. It was like very whatever. But I also have a habit of multitasking when I watch wrestling.
Yes.
So like I'll hear stuff, but I won't actually absorb it. Now that we've gotten the chance to like have these watch alongs and pay full attention, I'm like, oh, Okada is actually, obviously because he's a household name. He is world famous. So like it makes sense, but to me I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, now I see the hype.
Yeah. Trust me, I understand that being a new wrestling fan, having to be like, okay, why do y'all like these guys? Why am I supposed to like them? And Okada was one of those ones that, because the first match I saw from him was him versus Kenny at Wrestle Kingdom. I don't remember which one it was, but I was like, oh, I see. So these two are like the standard bearers for Japanese wrestling. Okay, I get it. And then I saw Kenny come to America and Okada come to AEW. I was like, oh, so they're here now. So now everyone else is gonna have to step up their fucking game. And surprisingly, they did.
Yeah.
Because the story I like to tell is me finding out about like the New Japan lore is there's always a white dude at the top spot, and once he leaves, is another one who takes his place, and they have to be as good or if not better than the white guy previously. Because you had like AJ, or Finn, then AJ, then Kenny, then um shit who Jay White, and then Will Osprey, and then Zack Saber Jr., then David Finlay, and now I'm assuming with the way New Japan is going now, Callum Newman, the leader of United Empire, the new one, because that was Will Ospreay's stable. See, I be learning. I did research for this. I
I
did
know.
research for this.
I know none of that. I just like I appreciate New Japan. I've seen some pay-per-views, like maybe a couple. Like I think what actually sold me was when Jericho was fighting Kenny Omega in one of them, and that's like my first time watching it. So I saw JR commentating. I saw a ref named Red Shoes. It was like, oh, this guy's a popular guy here. So I mean, I will consume the wrestling when I'm presented with it, but I have not like devoted the time to go out of my way to find it.
Yeah.
But like, I will consume wrestling if put in front of me, though. I love professional wrestling. I just like AEW has been super easy to watch.
Speaking of, this is what a segue to my next one of my next topics, because somehow I have been making sure that I get these topics out there and make sure that we talk about them. Um, Speaking of AEW and it being easy to get into, I want to talk about this current iteration of the main event scene in AEW, specifically the men's main event scene, because the women's division period in AEW needs its own dedicated episode. Because the girls over there, holy shit, they're wrestling like it's their life on the line. It's and when we talk about this title change on this past Dynamite, you will understand. But this main event scene with the men, you have MJF as the champion, two-time under 30. Small list of people that are a part of that list. Some real shooters in there. But then you have the contenders. You have Hangman Adam Page, a former two-time world champion, Swerve Strickland, a former world champion, and arguably the most dangerous man in the company aside from the next person, Brody King, who is having his match tomorrow.
Mhm.
Andrade, one of the best bell-to-bell wrestlers on the planet, like first ever Latino to win the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, two-time NXT champion, United States champion, probably. I don't know.
I think it
Speed
was.
champion. You don't knock the speed titles. You know how hard it is to wrestle in 3 minutes? A good match. Whew. Um, Hopefully, this may just be me speculating because I'm coping because he lost the belt. Tommaso Ciampa, going back to that interview with MJF, Chris was being like, "Oh, what are some matches that you want to have? That you haven't yet, or some things you want to run back?" And Max was like, "Oh, there's I never wrestled Swerve in an AEW ring. That'd be cool. Um, I'd like to wrestle Kenny again. Blah blah that. Blah blah this. Andrade he wants to wrestle." And then Chris said, "What about Tommaso Ciampa?" And Max's face, I can't even tell you what two emotions it switched from, but it was so drastic and so like visual to see. He wants that match. He wants MJF versus Tommaso Ciampa, and I do too. I'm not mad at him for it. But this main event scene right now, and just the ones that we know about, the matches that we know are coming on the horizon. We don't know what's not there. So what are your thoughts about the current main event scene in AEW?
I like how they're handling it a lot where like it's a multi-man match, but they still get to have they work all their stuff in. Um like Swerve Strickland, Aura. Like I cannot believe from WWE to AEW. I was there. I was there live for his debut. It was like a random Rampage taping after a Dynamite. I was there in the crowd and just, everyone chanting whose house. I joined in. I was like, why was this guy in Hit Row? This guy is oozing main event. He's got the crowd in the palm of his hand.
We are never getting AJ Francis on this podcast. But honestly, that's okay with me.
No, see, I'm not trying to diss Hit Row either. And I'm not trying to like backpedal now. But like, the reason I say that is because that group never went anywhere. They all just kind of like got mixed in. Because AJ Francis is doing phenomenal for himself right now. Like he's doing fine.
You know what? Yeah, I will admit, me and AJ Francis got some deep seated one sided beef. But like, can he wrestle? Yeah, especially for a man built like that. Hey, no disrespect. We don't body shame here, but we know what I'm talking about. AJ is built very peculiar, but he puts on a damn good match every time.
Did you know that the botch he did that like tope where he like fell over and
Yeah.
Michael Cole made a comment about it? You know that saved his life?
Really?
because he went to the doctor afterwards, and the doctor was like, I forget what he. I think he said he was some stage of diabetic,
Oh,
and if he let it go on for much longer, it would have killed him.
oh my gosh. Well, hey, silver linings and all around us. That's crazy.
Now, I'm paraphrasing. I'm pretty sure that was the exact thing, but anyone that sees that corroborate the story.
Please, I would love to know. Maybe this is how we get AJ Francis on the podcast. It's just like we just want to get the story straight, man. You know, that would be so funny if. Now it's gonna sound like I'm trying like this. I'm trying to like do a bit or like guys. I swear we don't have AJ Francis for this podcast, but as this goes along, I'm gonna talk about how much I love Swerve Strickland. That's the best black wrestler ever. And that's going to be said on multiple episodes of this podcast. But it would be so funny if we could get AJ Francis on here just so I can tell him how much I like Swerve. Like, man, I love Hit Row. What's Isaiah doing? What's he? Gosh. But you know, this main event scene, I'm so excited, especially because Will Ospreay's not even back. They've been teasing it these last couple of Dynamites with these video packages that, you know, unfortunately have been making me tear up every time because I miss him dearly. But like, I was thinking about this literally this morning when I was doing research for this episode. Will and Max are 1-1 when they were doing a little feud for the international title. Because Will had it, Max beat him because he hit him with the oxygen tank. And then that's when Max turned it into the American title. And he was doing his whole like Homelander skit all over Mexico. And then Max beat him at was it Wembley? Was it All In?
Ospreay beat him, right?
Yeah, we beat him back for the title.
Yeah.
And then he dropped it to Takeshita in their triple threat with Ricochet. So, yeah, they're 1-1. We need that tiebreaker, preferably in a 60-minute Iron Man match. Hey, maybe at Wembley again. I don't know, but no, we all know that what I want at All In Wembley 2026 is AJ Styles versus Will Ospreay for the belt.
Yeah, I mean, I was just happy with like predicting like he'll go elsewhere like TNA for the rest of his career, but I would love a either free agent AJ Styles or just one AEW run.
Yeah. Just because he said the year of 2026 would be his year. That's the last year he wants to wrestle. It's only February.
Yeah.
He never said that he wanted to do the rest of the year in WWE. And again, I keep pulling from this damn interview, but if you listen to Max long enough, like I have, he tells you more things than he's actually saying. I may just be a mark, but I think I'm right because when he was talking about AJ's retirement, he kept putting air quotes in front of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, well, and he didn't put his gloves down. Like he put them back on. And he himself said, well, like, I'm not done. Like, what if my son wants to wrestle and I want to wrestle him? So this is to AJ Jr. or whatever your name is, dog. AJ Styles' son. I need you to sign to AEW literally today. So that way, by the time Will gets back, we get the belt off Max. We have a nice, good feud with AJ and Will. Have it build to Wembley. That's probably going to be in August or something, maybe. That's a good enough time, and then we could send AJ home happy. He can retire. He does not have to wrestle again. I will never bother him for another thing for the rest of my days. You can be a dad. You can go to the games. You can spend time at home. but I need you to wrestle Will Ospreay with me as a witness. That's it.
I no longer believe the whole leaving the gear in the ring thing, even though, like, it is tradition. But Undertaker did it. Undertaker left his entire outfit in the ring and then was back like a year or two later.
Yeah, and then was back again, and then again. Hell, he was back on NXT like a few months ago and put Trick Willie through the canvas.
Yeah, I think I saw that going, oh, just retire. Go away. What are you doing there?
Well, now he's booking AAA.
The whitest guy on the fucking planet.
Yeah, because in my mind, it would make sense to have, oh, I don't fucking know, Rey Mysterio be the booker for AAA. The greatest luchador of all time, two-time Hall of Famer. But nah, let's pick the dead guy who has 6 moves and can only do 2 of them. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, another random thing, but the whole separate the art from the artist is all fine and dandy, but I don't do that because the Undertaker is a transphobic piece of shit. So
Yeah,
none of his accomplishments in his entire career mean anything to me anymore because he is a terrible person.
just the worst. I remember pun not intended, but the final nail in the coffin for me and a lot of other people was when he and Kane had Trump on, like, it was like an ad for the campaign, and he was like, in gimmick voice, by the way,
Yep.
it's Kane the Undertaker, and this is the most important election of our lifetime. You gotta vote for Donald Trump or America will rest in peace. I wanted to shoot myself. Oh my God, you are the dead man. You, and the Ministry of Evil kidnapped Stephanie McMahon and tried to crucify her. But you couldn't because Stone Cold came and rescued her. And you want me to put my political advice to you, a man who worships an urn and listen to Paul Bearer. Fuck you, Mark. Because you're not the Undertaker anymore. You never will be. The Undertaker died in a ghost fighting accident with freaking Mick Foley and Dave Batista, and because that's just to piss him off more because he.
In that same ad, he said, be like us or be like Dave Batista and Mick Foley. It's like, yeah, why?
It's like, oh, be like you guys who are supporting a Nazi pedophile, or be like the 2 dudes who are like, actually, I don't want to support that guy. I think gay people and black people are cool and don't deserve to be discriminated against. Hot take, Mick Foley. Be careful. You're scaring the hoes with that one. Like, come on, bro. Like, are we really gonna take the advice from the Undertaker or Mick Foley? Mick Foley, on paper, the coolest dude on the planet. The man who has an entire room in his house dedicated to Santa Claus.
Yeah, I've seen like behind the scenes stuff, and he dresses like Santa a lot.
Yeah, because he's just a cool guy. He's just a silly little guy. And that's why when he was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm, you know, not renewing my Legends contract. I don't want to be associated with this company anymore. Because, yeah, when Linda McMahon, who is now the Secretary of Education, mind you, this woman spent more time pretending to be a paraplegic comatose patient than she ever did in a fucking classroom. That's the woman who's in charge of education for the entire country of America. Triple H has some weird BS thing where he's like in charge of like the health BS for the youth. You do steroids. The whole bit, which why that Scott Steiner never won the title was because y'all wanted him to do a drug test, and he called y'all back up and said, "Okay, cool. If you can have Triple H pick me up in a limousine, we'll go take the drug test together." and he ain't never took that drug test.
Yeah,
Scott Steiner never been to take that drug test.
Triple H is I think because of the steroids, he's had to stop taking them because he got a heart attack. I'm also just there's no proof here. I'm just saying that I at any given moment I could be quoting a dirt sheet, so never take what I say as
Oh
fact
yeah.
anyway.
All the stuff that we hear is all hearsay, but most of the stuff that like comes from their mouths is on WWE Unreal, which is I don't think helps their case at all because they want to. Oh my god! Case in point, the example like they want to. Everything's a part of the gimmick. Everything's a part of the work. No, big dog, you fired R-Truth. Y'all fired R-Truth, and his son had to come onto the internet and be like, "No, stop lying on my daddy's name." Y'all let his contract expire and did some weird business move and tried to treat him like he wasn't who he was. But it didn't work, and now y'all got to pay that boy buku bucks to sit in catering.
You talk about Unreal, and it just made me think. This is my dream person to have on this podcast at some point. Chelsea Green.
Oh my god, yes. I want to have Chelsea Green on this podcast simply one because she's one of the greatest women's wrestlers ever, and two because I genuinely want to further pick her brain because I know someone already has asked her this question, and I would hate to like annoy her or like make her uncomfortable with this question, but like, how does how do you walk into work that next day after watching Unreal and you're one of your producers, one of your bosses, Michael B.S. Hayes, decides to say that you're not top girl material when you know all the all the work that you've put into your like 10 plus years as a wrestler, that you can do it all. You were in Lucha Underground having matches with Penta, and I know that she likes to say that, oh, that was all him. Go rewatch the match. That was all him. Baby girl, it takes two people to wrestle. That's the end of the story. It takes two people to wrestle. Someone has to do the moves, somebody has to take those bumps. And she took those bumps like a fucking champ. To this day, one of my favorite Chelsea Green moments, and it's such a double-edged sword moment because one, it was fucking insane, and two, I thought she was gonna win Money in the Bank when Tiffany pushed her off the ladder and she went off the ladder through the tables. Oh my god, that was crazy. I thought she was gonna die. Chelsea Green is one of the greatest in-ring performers, has one of the best gimmicks, some of the best character work. This Secret Harvest thing that she's been doing for almost a year has been the funniest thing ever. Like, I know you
No.
haven't watched SmackDown week to week. They have newsy newspapers now. They have Alba Fire dressing like a newsie with like the little satch bag and handing like little like recruitment letters to other superstars on the roster. And it's so funny.
Also, shout out Piper Niven. I hope she ends up okay.
I do too. I remember not liking her at first and then immediately getting that turned around because I was like, okay, it's not one of the wrestlers I know, so I guess I won't like, put too much stock into it. The bell rang. I said, nah, her and Chelsea need to win everything. Her and Chelsea need to win everything. And yeah, man. Chelsea Green needs more credit that she deserves. I mean, I thought she was gonna win the chamber. I thought she was gonna win the Rumble. I I thought that like this Unreal thing was like a work, and they were just trying to get us all mad at Hayes to be like, oh no, Chelsea could do it. No, they said fuck y'all. They meant that shit. They said it with their chest that they don't think Chelsea is top guy material, which is bullshit. It's a genuine shame because I've seen the tweets and the videos about how people are getting stale on WWE's like constant like reuse and recycle of the same four top people. Like, oh man, who are the women's tag team champions? Io Sky and fucking Rhea Ripley. Who's the women's world champion? Oh, fucking Jade Cargill. When was the last time she's defended her belt? Oh, she hasn't? She hasn't defended the belt the entire time because they put the entire main event card of women in the tag division? Because this is not against Jade. Jade don't book her matches. She don't book the show. She's not in control of SmackDown. The first title defense that she's going to have is going to be against Jordan Grace today in
Yep.
like 15 minutes as of we're recording this.
See, the thing, I think it's mostly WWE, but like, however they structure this, I constantly forget who is the champion of something because they're not featured; they're just away or whatever. Like, so Jade Cargill is incredible. She's a lot better than she was in AEW for sure. So
Absolutely.
it's never the wrestler's fault. The wrestlers are always like great, but for some reason they're not advertised. They're not put up front. They're not like shown in the capacity where like you'd remember that they're champion.
Do you remember when Io was champ last year and she was barely on TV?
Yeah.
And I had people in my comment section and people being like, "Oh man, is Io Sky's washed? She's not defending the title." Y'all weren't saying that when she was putting on banger 5-star classic like match of the year contenders with Bianca Belair on random episodes of Raw. Y'all weren't saying that when she wasn't the champion. And I don't. You're right. You're 100% right on like the booking of champions on WWE programming. It's like they won the belt. I want to see them with the belt
Mhm.
on TV. Like that was a whole it was a whole fucking storyline. Oh my god. Was that a shoot on WWE? Was the John Moxley Death Riders title run with the title in the briefcase a shoot on the Fed because they don't book their champions on their shows?
The storyline, I think, in AEW sense was like he doesn't. John Moxley was trying to fire up the locker room and he was trying to like make the belt mean something, so he hid it away from the roster. It's like you guys don't deserve to see this. It's going to go in this briefcase.
Oh, I know that's what the textual storyline was, but I'm trying to start beef between fan bases.
Dude, have you ever seen John Moxley when he was Dean Ambrose? Have you ever seen any part of his U.S. title run?
I can't say that I have. I know
He
that he had it.
he held that belt for the better part of a year and barely defended it. I mean, it could be less time, but it felt like a long time that he had that belt and he never lost it, barely defended it. And it was just always funny because they always, as when they were the Shield, they'd go through the crowd, they'd hop the barricade. And he'd like, go up to the barricade, chuck the belt over it, and then hop over the barricade.
All right, all right. I guess he's a big Naito fan. All right, cool, cool. One thing that I do want to do on this podcast once we get closer to the end of the episodes is that I would like to have a highlight of wrestling for the week of the podcast. So any for any promotion, any wrestler, if there's an up and coming indie person or promotion that you want to shout out, or and when and if we do have guests on here, and we will, I actually have two guests. I don't know when they're going to be here, but Nico Skywalker and Gang Zetsu, and possibly Chrissy Tina. I've talked to her about that too. So there are guests planned who have different perspectives and different backgrounds in wrestling. Some people like, guests that we're gonna have them watch wrestling matches with us and get their critiques, give them the lowdown. I have a lot of fun stuff planned for this podcast. I'm excited.
I
But
know.
Dave, if you have any highlights of
Well,
the week for wrestling.
we also know all the same people, and I also know that Chrissy
Yeah.
Tina is game for this. But highlights, the one that sticks out is like it was a toss up between the two championship changes on AEW Dynamite. I have to say the more shocking one was Chris Statlander losing, only because Tommaso losing was like that's essentially a TV title. That title is built to like the TNT title is built to be switched around, defended,
Yeah.
lost, whatever. It's and Tommaso it doesn't hurt him at all. and it only benefits Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah,
But
because that
also,
match had time.
oh yeah, no, it was a fantastic match, and it was a shocking finish. Um, but then with Tekla versus Chris Statlander, that was also a shocking finish, and we were watching it live with Chrissy Tina, and I made the joke because somebody, I forget who, somebody came out in like a hood and like the black hoodie and stuff, and I yelled out, "She's the mystery man!" Right when Chris Statlander got pinned, and I went, "Holy shit!" And I had to like soak in the moment at the same time.
I know. Oh my gosh, because I was laughing at your joke, and then I looked up and I said, "Wait, no, no, she just got it." And oh my gosh, I those matches, both of those matches were spectacular because, um, two very different matches. You just had a bare bones wrestling match with two like very, I wouldn't say that Tommaso and Kyle have similar styles, but they're in the same like wheelhouse, you know? If push comes to shove, they will stand in the middle of that ring and throw hands.
They have
They
a
will just beat
style
the
that
shit out
can.
of each other.
They've both got a style that can wrestle anyone.
Yes, and I think that's what made this matchup so compelling because even as me, a huge Kyle Fletcher mark, like I want him to win every match that he's ever in. I didn't know how I didn't know how he was going to win this match because I'm also such a huge Tommaso Ciampa mark from like, Black and Gold DIY and him and Johnny Gargano rivalry days. But like Kyle Fletcher won a match clean? That don't happen too often. And I'll take it. I'll take it. And Chris Statlander and Tekla in that strap match, I I thought we called her Strap Daddy for a reason. I thought it was easy peasy, dunzo, like that was gonna be it. Nah, and no babes of wrath. Because you were saying that, and Chrissy was saying that they could possibly already be in Australia doing like
Hmm.
press and stuff, which 100% possible. 100% possible. They were not on the show at all.
That is
Uh,
probably also where Brody King was. Like
n-
the whole bit about that.
Apparently not.
Really?
Brody got pulled from the show.
Well, see, that's what I did a video on that, and I said, yeah, it looks like he got pulled from the show, but and Warner Brothers was like denying it vehemently that it wasn't them,
Hmm.
and somebody said that to me in my comments, and I kind of like because he was being like a little bit of an actually kind of guy, and I hate those guys. Um, so I'm going back and forth. I had already put something in there to say like, yeah, here's the addendum to the story, and I did another video on that afterwards, going, well, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because I still think that they did it, and they're just saying they didn't.
Right, because this is the same company who scrapped a fully done movie as a tax write off, but put out The Flash. So WB does not have a great track record of making good financial decisions for their product. And either way, Brody King is still gonna be in fucking Grand Slam Australia in, well, technically, because it's 7 now, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. In 7 hours, that's gonna start recording. I know it's not going to start like, airing for Americans um until like 7 or 8.
Oh, we got to dodge spoilers. Then I'm sure there's going to be a lot.
Oh yeah, and and I'm going to put this here right now. If you guys comment blah blah spoilers on our stuff, it's over with. It's over with. No more podcasts. No more podcasts. Just like that. No spoilers. But for my wrestling highlight of the week, I'm not gonna hold you. It doesn't come from either American big two companies. Come from New Japan. My highlight of the week was actually Andrade versus Gabe Kidd because I have been looking forward to that match ever since Andrade showed up in New Japan to be the secret financial backer for the United Empire in their blood feud with the War Dogs. And I think it's in a couple of days. Andrade gets a title shot against Yota Tsuji's IWGP Global Championship. So Andrade could have 2 belts now.
Oh man. So another guy, Andrade, is going to do awesome stuff too.
Dude, I am so excited because they're already booking him better than he was in the last year he was in WWE.
Oh, for sure.
From the first time he showed up, like the first time before the non-disclosure act kicked in, when he showed up after that Kenny Omega match, the lights went out. I make the same joke I make every time the lights go out in any wrestling promotion. It's Sting. And then I immediately had to lock in because I'm like, wait, that's Andrade's mask. Took the mask off. That's Andrade. And he did all the bells and whistles. He did the big boot spinning back fix move. He hit the message, which is now called the DM, which I think is so funny now that Andrade is constantly flirting with Instagram baddies in the front row. Yeah, please. Yeah, the DM, that's hilarious. That's super funny. And he keeps doing now he's doing more of the um Los Ingobernables stuff like that he used to do with Naito and Rouge, which I forgot that stable's still around. It's in Ring of Honor. Sammy Guevara is in it now. It's Sammy, Rouge, Dralistico, and the Beast Mortos. That's LFI. That's what that stands for. I was like, what does LFI mean? But yeah, wrestling is in a really good place this year, and I think 2026 is gonna be the year of AEW. I think that with the tag division, I know at Revolution we're gonna get the Bucks versus FTR again, which I immediately complained about, and then remembered that I had actually never seen that matchup before in like a singles match. It's always been like, oh, the Bucks, FTR, Rodito, and Jurassic Park, or GOA, or whatever. But I get to see a Bucks FTR title match on pay-per-view, and I think that's going to be super sick.
Would I have rather seen Private Party? Maybe.
Yes.
But the Bucks winning didn't bother me because I know that they're 2 top-tier tag teams, and it's going to be a great match.
Yeah. And the Rascals just got there. I know they're going to win gold. And if they don't, I will go to Tony Khan's house and we will have a very stern conversation.
Chrissy Tina will also do that. She will.
Bro, yeah, we'll go up there and yeah. After we have that conversation, they're gonna come out with mixed tag belts because of us. Well, Dave, if there's nothing else that you would like to plug, I would like to send the crowd home happy.
Go for it.
Everybody, I have been Mr. Must See TV, Chris Goddamn Magnus, with my co-host and lovely friend, Xanatos1138, providing you with the utmost in original wrestling content all over the globe. We will be here every Thursday. Our recordings, if you want to be here live, will be at 7 o'clock my time, and that's Texas time. Any other time is fake. I hope you enjoyed our personalities and our information and our knowledge. We hope to be here with more and more and more.
Good night, everybody.